Hello and welcome to our tour of the upper floor of Eastcliff Hall. This grand staircase was designed and built to impress both visitors and guests to the house. As we go upstairs, on the left, you can see the original roadside entrance with its ornate stenciling and tilework. The mosaic on the floor bears Annie's initials, celebrating the fact that the building was created for her. The beautiful bespoke glass dome overhead depicts the night sky, complete with comets, stars, bats and owls. Flanking the staircase are the marble sculptures Day, holding a sprig of flowers, and Night, awakening from her slumber with a cloak of stars. Before the addition of the art galleries in 1919, the balcony was the main display space for Annie and Merton's ever-growing collection of pictures. Works were frequently alternated as the couple were regular visitors to auction houses and art dealers. Overhead, the magnificent stained glass skylight depicts the arc of the sun and the 12 signs of the zodiac. This is a replacement as the original was destroyed during the Second World War during a bombing raid. Bearing down on the visitors below is the plaster sculpture Pereat, Latin for let him perish. The two furious figures are watching a gladiatorial battle and giving an angry thumbs down to the imaginary warriors below. The first room on our tour is the Irving Room, a museum within a museum dedicated to Sir Merton's friend, the actor Sir Henry Irving. Irving was one of the greatest names in Victorian theatre, and in 1895 he became the first actor to be knighted at a time when acting was still tarnished by the stigma of vagabonds and rogues. Famous for his charisma and dramatic acting style, he found great success with his leading lady, Dame Ellen Terry. Irving was a regular visitor to Bournemouth theatres and would stay at the Royal Bath Hotel, where he became a close friend of Merton and Annie. Much of Merton's collection of Irving-related memorabilia was bought at auction following the actor's death in 1905. Merton's purchases included Irving's makeup box, theatrical costumes, jewellery and props, as well as the human skull that he used in his portrayal of Hamlet. Such was Merton's devotion to Irving that he converted his library into the Irving Museum and continued to acquire theatrical memorabilia. We're now in the study. Despite the name, Merton didn't do his work here. He did his paperwork down in the dining room. Surrounded by his furniture and ceramics, Merton would relax, read and smoke cigars. The room features some of Merton's favourite and often controversial paintings. The Dawn of Love by the artist William Etty scandalised many Victorians with its sensual subject matter. It shows the figure of Venus caressing Cupid in bed, a pose which challenged ideas of classical decorum. Merton enjoyed collecting the personal effects of celebrities and notable figures. This folding writing desk supposedly belonged to Napoleon Bonaparte. Merton liked to leave his personal stamp on the interior design of the house. His coat of arms can be seen above the doorways. The bespoke fireplace tiles feature Merton's initials and emblems from his adopted heraldry. The embossed flax wallpaper features thistles, a romantic nod to Annie's Scottish heritage. Looking upwards, we can see the wonderful ceiling mural, hand-painted by the artist John Thomas, which reflects Merton's love of Japan and birds. This is the Moorish alcove, a lobby that was transformed following Annie and Merton's trip to the Alhambra in Spain in 1910. Inspired by the exotic Moorish designs they saw in Spain, Annie and Merton created their own Islamic-inspired vestibule. Above our heads is a glazed dome in beautiful jewel-like colours. The Arabic script underneath translates as "There is no victor but God" and is repeated 12 times. Peeking through the hand-painted fretwork are swallows, a recurring decorative motif that appears throughout the building. The marble and bronze sculpture depicts Shakespeare's Othello. It was modelled after the African-American actor Ira Aldridge, the first black man to play the role in England in 1825. This is the boudoir. It was Annie's private space where she could relax, read and sew. The room is filled with feminine touches, from the pink walls to the elegant stenciling and Cupid motifs. The large rosewood cabinet on the right is filled with delicate European ceramics, which Merton and Annie acquired from dealers and auction rooms. The orange and white gilded Davenport tea service on the top shelf was used for a very important visitor, Princess Beatrice, youngest daughter of Queen Victoria. Princess Beatrice was invited to open the newly built art galleries, but Annie, who had been so instrumental in their completion, was too ill to attend the ceremony. Instead, she took tea with the princess here in the boudoir. This is the yellow room, which was once Annie's bedroom. Like many Victorian couples, Annie and Merton had separate bedrooms, but with an interconnecting doorway. Unfortunately, we do not have any original photographs of Annie and Merton's bedrooms. The furnishings you see here have been based on photographs of their room at the Royal Bath Hotel. The room is filled with objects and paintings from our World Cultures collection. Annie had a passion for travelling, and she was able to indulge her love of natural history and indigenous cultures. The objects displayed in this room reflect some of the countries that Merton and Annie visited, including a model Maori canoe from New Zealand, a gilded and enamelled icon from Russia, a white alabaster statue of Buddha from India, and a mangle board from Norway. On her travels, Annie and Merton took meticulous notes and sent many letters home to her children. She later published these in 2 works, Westward from the Golden Gate and Letters from Russia. This is the Red Room, which was originally Merton's bedroom. Like Annie's bedroom next door, it was extensively remodelled after his death in 1921. Like many of Merton and Annie's private rooms, this bedroom has a spectacular view out over the bay, from the Isle of Wight to the Isle of Purbeck. The coving features the birth of Venus and was intended to be viewed from the bed. From here, Merton would have had a perfect view of the semi-naked classical beauties. This room is also filled with some of Merton's favourite paintings. During the final months of Annie's illness, Merton and Annie swapped bedrooms in order for Annie to be closer to her live-in nurse. On April the 17th, 1920, Annie died in this room. This is the Mikado's room. In 1885, Annie and Merton spent 7 weeks in Japan. Enthralled by the country, its people and its culture, they brought back over 100 packing cases of objects, the cream of which are on display here. Merton and Annie visited Japan at the time when the country was beginning to open its borders to traders and tourists. A craze for Japanese design was sweeping across Europe, and Merton and Annie were no exception. The couple amassed a huge collection, including everyday objects like restaurant menu holders and disposable hotel slippers. They also acquired high-quality items such as this gilded, opulent Buddhist shrine. They even brought home 7 suits of Japanese samurai armour. Merton and Annie continued to add to their Japanese treasure trove upon their return home. This exquisite silver incense burner, or koro, in the form of an elephant was likely purchased at the International Art Fair in Glasgow in 1901, as was this flawless iron and gold inlaid dish, depicting a Japanese warrior waking from a drunken stupor to battle a demon. Initially, the collection was displayed at the Royal Bath Hotel in the specially set up Japanese drawing room. But Merton fulfilled Annie's last wish by transforming the blue bedroom here at Eastcliff Hall into the Mikado's room in 1920. The murals overhead were inspired by the sites Annie and Merton had visited in Japan, and the ceiling is hung with lanterns. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the top floor of Eastcliff Hall. Please enjoy the rest of your visit to the Russell-Cotes.